I want to leave it heavily on your expertise, Steve, because I know you were in the UK, you called Brexit, you tried to tell David Cameron, the Prime Minister, it's coming. And one of the core issues to Brexit, as I understand it from reading, was this idea of being yoked to all these European nations that wanted to let so many refugees come in.
Yeah, it was the biggest specific issue. There's so much to say about this. I just want to pick up where James Woolsey left off. He used the word generosity. That is not the word that I would use
really?
To describe
I used it too.
Behavior. I would say something that people might think is pretty harsh. I would use the word vanity. I think that the reason that she did this was personal vanity. She wanted to be seen as this great, compassionate leader, atoning perhaps for Germany's past sins, welcoming the world. And it was all about her sense of her reputation and her legacy. And it was incredibly irresponsible. Not just for Germany, as we've seen, and I'll get to that in a second, but for the whole of Europe and the whole of the world. Because what that did, that signal that our doors are open, just come to our country, that caused this whole problem. That incentivized people to leave their homes, to travel to Europe, and in the process, that caused problems in every other country, not just Germany, all the way through. And so there was a different way of doing it. David Cameron, who I used to work for in Downing Street, he had a very different approach. He took the view, and which I think is the right view, that actually there is a humanitarian responsibility. It is true to say that a lot of the blame for this refugee crisis can be laid at the feet of certainly the Obama administration here and other governments for completely messing up their policy on Syria.
And messing up Syria.
But that doesn't mean you have to invite literally millions of people to your country. Cameron's view was that we exercise that responsibility by directing funds to the refugee camps in the area and by creating zones where people can be safe.
Why didn't that happen?
And so he had a very different view, and in fact was very critical privately of what Merkel did, not just because it messed things up in Germany, but for the whole of Europe.
Did you not have the type of partner in the United States at the top, the president, to help make that happen, or did you and it didn't for other reasons? Because what you're talking about is kind of like a demilitarized zone, or several of them, to put people to be safe.
That's right, and also the people actually in those refugee camps, many more than many millions in the area, are just having a horrific time, a horrific life. So actually, money can actually really help. That's a practical thing that can be done. But more important is to actually do something to stop the exodus.
Okay.
It's a bad idea for people to be leaving.